Hello, everyone. It's the top of the hour and we're ready to begin. My name is Karen Berger, and today is April 17th, 2024, and I'd like to welcome you to CASAS National News and Updates webinar. We have a great lineup for you today. Many of you are old hats at this Zoom business, but want to make sure that you know that we'd like you to put your questions about anything in the presentations in the Q&A. You can use the chat for technical difficulties, and we will be posting the PowerPoint on the website after this meeting is over. Also, the recording will be posted by April 24th. So now I'm going to turn it over to Laura.
Hi, everybody. My name is Laura Fetter. Thank you for joining us. Let CASAS be your compass, not just for your ESL learners, not just for your ABE learners. CASAS has assessments and tools to help your students navigate their whole student journey. Today, we are joined by our president, Jane Iguez, who's going to be making an announcement and providing clarification regarding the latest information from OCTAE and the ESL test extension. We're also going to be talking about test development and research updates, some transition options. We're sharing a promising practice presentation from Hacienda Puente. We're going to give you a little bit of information about the CASAS teacher portal and the CASAS eWORKs, which is our soft skills readiness program. And as always, sharing some important reminders. So I'm going to pass the baton to our president, Jane Iguez.
Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning for those on the West Coast. My name is Jane Iguez, and I'm the president of CASAS. And I just wanted to go over briefly an announcement that came out several weeks ago from OCTAE regarding the ESL extension. As you know, as many of you know, a year ago in March, CASAS was proud to receive a 7-year approval for our new ESL assessments, which are called STEPS. So for this last year, we've been working with state and local programs to help develop transition plans. And so many programs already have started to transition to or have already transitioned to STEPS. As the U.S. Federal government announced that all ESL tests, on the next slide, you'll see that the Federal Register presented or posted a notice saying that all ESL tests for WEO reporting purposes have been extended through June 30th of 2025. So they've given a 1-year extension. But it's very important that you work with your different state organizations or your state offices to determine whether they are going to extend the use of life and work for another year, or if they are transitioning to STEPS starting in July of this year. So the reading and listening steps are ready for use, and the life and work series for reading and listening have been extended to June 30th of 2025. But there's some discretion, and it's important that you align with your state policy. One of the benefits of transitioning is that it will minimize operational complexity of having to work with 2 sets of the life and work and STEPS tests and test booklets and reporting purposes. And then also by moving to STEPS, it will help you to align to the English language proficiency standards, which are now part of the reports on the assessment. But we'll support your programs no matter what you decide, whether you're going to transition right away or later. Some insights from early adopters is that the students and teachers really appreciate the new updated the content of the test items. They like the fact that they have more rigorous content standards to really prepare the students for what's ahead of them. And they really like the new student and teacher-friendly reports, that the information has been aggregated, and at a glance, you know where the strengths are and some guidance on what to work on. So again, we're there to support you no matter what your state and your local programs decide to do. But please remember, the math goals does expire this June of 2024, and you will need to transition to Goals 2, Math Goals 2, which has been approved through 2030. So Math Goals 2 will replace Math Goals starting July 1st. Thank you very much and all the best. Laura?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Jane. Thanks for clarifying. I know a lot of people were interested in getting that clarification, so hopefully that's helpful. So with this new information, let's talk about the new assessment launch that you may be beginning, have already begun, or are going to begin this July, or maybe next July. I think we are going to take a poll. Is that correct, Karen? Yes, we're taking a poll. So in light of OCTAE's ESL assessment extension, what are your plans? Here are your options. You've already launched. You're launching July 1st, 2024. You're launching July 1st, 2025, or you're waiting for state guidance or other. So Karen's going to go ahead and launch that poll for us. We got a lot of answers coming in. Just want to give you plenty of time. We know there are a lot of people on the webinar today. Looks like most folks have either launched, are launching in July, or are waiting for state guidance. So this is a good opportunity for you to think about reaching out to your state leadership folks to find out what kind of guidance they're going to be providing you with. Anything else? Yeah.
I'm going to share those results so everybody can see those results. And that, okay.
Yeah, so 35% with waiting for state guidance. This is really helpful information for us. Thank you, everybody, for sharing, for participating in the poll.
And you can close that little poll screen by clicking the little red X at the top right corner of that box.
So last year at this time, when we were talking about the new assessment and transitioning, we shared some possible launch scenario ideas. You may remember we talked about, are you going to be a luxury liner? So you're going to take a whole year to slowly move that big ship? Or are you thinking you're going to be a speedboat, meaning you're going to jump right in and adopt the new assessment right away? Or maybe you're going to split the difference between those two ideas and be an inflatable raft and just slowly have one site or one program level begin the new assessments and then slowly grow it out from there. So those were what we were thinking about last year. We want you, and so because of the extension, we're going to be thinking about that again this year too, perhaps. So just some considerations as you transition. Remember, paired scores must be from the same series. Only Math Goals 2 is reportable after July 1st, 2024. So as Jane mentioned, the Math Goals 1 is sunsetting. It's going to retire this June, and then you need to transition to the Math Goals 2. And the Math Goals scores cannot be proxied to 2024-25. If you have questions about proxying, you'll want to reach out to tech support. Some other considerations. You want to make sure you saturate your stakeholders with information. So I know many of you have been saturating all year long, which may be why you're planning on going forward with the transition. But if you haven't, make sure you communicate this update to your folks so they're not confused about what's happening. You'll also want to ask for volunteers to pilot the new assessment. If you haven't already piloted, you want to make sure you ask for volunteers to do that so you can build champions into this transition. And finally, create targeted PDs for specific audiences. We know that you just can't communicate enough. You probably can't train enough either. So make sure your administrators are getting information about this, your teachers are getting information about this change, and even your students are getting information about the change and why it's happening. So as I mentioned before, a speedboat would be piloting the test in small batches in the summer and then having a full transition in the fall, or you can have a variation where you just have one site is a speedboat. A luxury liner, you would plan your launch this summer. In the fall, communicate that a new assessment is coming. Winter, provide professional development opportunities. And spring, conduct a small test pilot. For those of you who are planning on transitioning, you've probably already done that. And then the inflatable boat would be, you would designate one level class as the early adopters. And then students would start with a new assessment as they progress from level to level. And the school builds out the usage of the new assessment to level 2, 3, 4, and 5. So those are just some possible launch scenario ideas, whatever works best for you and your agency, depending on the resources that you have. That's what we are going to help support you with. So we're going to go ahead and pivot now and talk about our promising practice presentation. At our webinar, at our last webinar, we had a great presentation from Yolanda Flores, who's the former director for Collier Adult Education Programs in Florida. And she shared how the state of Florida has used the CASAS assessment to determine readiness for CTE programs. So for today's promising practice, we are so grateful to have Maria Tellez and Rosalia Sandoval Gonzalez sharing a presentation. They are from Hacienda La Puente Adult School in Southern California. They're going to be sharing information on how they determined cut scores using CASAS at their local program level. So Karen, any housekeeping to make?
So if you have any questions about this presentation, I'll be playing a recording that Maria and Rosie made for us, and you can put questions about the presentation in the Q&A. And if they're not able to answer it now during the webinar, we'll make sure that they have your questions later on. And so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play the video.
Hello, we're from Hacienda La Puente Adult Education. Today we'll be discussing how we develop CTE baseline scores using CASAS. But first, a quick introduction. My name is Maria Tellez, and I'm the Academic Administrator of Counseling Services. With me today is my colleague, Rosie Sandoval, who is a CTE Administrator of Counseling Services. HLPAE has 3 main locations within the Hacienda La Puente Unified School District. Dibble and Hudson are our main hubs for academics and house all of our academic classes, which I will review in the following slides. Our Willow campus, which is the largest of the 2 schools, has a handful of our academic classes, but is the main hub for our CTE programs. Here's the main list of academic programs we offer. As you can see, we probably offer the same classes that you all do, such as ESL, Citizenship, ABE, High School Diploma, and High School Equivalency Prep. All these classes are offered both in person and online. We also offer under ABE a basic skills class for our adults with disabilities. This class is only offered in person at our Willow campus. Along with these academic programs, we also offer various IET programs for our ESL students. We offer ESL for pharmacy technician, ESL for medical assistant, which is new for this year, ESL for cosmetology, and starting in 24-25, we'll be offering ESL for culinary arts.
Here is a chart of our CTE programs. Within the personal services, we offer barbering, cosmetology, esthetician, and manicurist. Health careers, we have certified nursing assistant, licensed vocational nurse, medical assistant, medical biller and coder, pharmacy technician, psychiatric technician, and registered dental assistant. Within the trades, we have automotive technician, combination welder, HVAC service technician, major appliance technician, small business management, administrative assistant, electrician, and culinary arts. Under our Adults with Disabilities programs, we offer custodial worker, food service worker, and landscape gardening worker. Located on our campus or co-located, we also have the America's Job Centers of California. They're located right next door to our front office for the adult education programs. As a result of this collaboration, we're able to offer wraparound services for all our students. We'd like to review our student demographics. The total number of students served for 2022-23 was 15,928. As you can see on the colorful pie chart, we have a large population of Hispanic students, 53.9. We also have 31.4 white, and then we also have a pretty good size Asian population of 7.8%. Within our student demographic languages, you can see that we're serving 46% English speaking students, and then we have 54% that speak other languages. Of that 54%, you can see 34% are Spanish speaking, and we'd like to point out that we're serving 14% of Chinese speaking students.
And now a brief history of how we develop baseline scores using CASAS for CTE. Prior to 2017, the academic and CTE departments operated independently. Academic utilized CASAS for student assessment, while CTE used a different exam to test their students. The administrator of our Health Careers program recognized the need to offer academic support to students who did not meet the required reading and math scores for enrollment in LVN or psych tech programs. Since these were the two programs that were they're a little bit difficult for students to get into since they have a higher reading and math requirement. This situation was the catalyst for bringing CTE and academics together. During this period, CTE instructors were tasked with determining the reading and math grade levels necessary for students to successfully complete their programs. While many instructors estimated these levels, I have provided a website below that your teachers, or if you're a teacher, can use to assess the grade level of your instructional materials. This link is functional in the PDF version of this presentation that will be available, I'm assuming, after the CASAS webinar. Instructors can simply copy or input a couple of paragraphs from their textbook, and the website will determine the grade level of the text. So once our instructors determined what grade level they were going to be using, I utilized CASAS' score ranges grade level equivalence document, which I'll show on the next slide, to determine the CASAS reading and math scores required for enrollment in specific CTE programs. In 2018, we conducted a trial period. Prospective CTE students were assessed using the 513R for reading and 505M for math to determine their scores, since at the time, goals wasn't established just yet. In 2019, we transitioned to goals once it was officially adopted by CASAS. As previously mentioned, the point of all of this was to connect CTE students to academics. So here is CASAS' score ranges grade level equivalence document that I made reference to in the previous slide. Also included in the PDF of this presentation is the link that will send you directly to the CASAS website, where you'll be able to view this document on the website. As you can see, score ranges are assigned a grade level. On this slide, I provided you with an example of our pharmacy technician class that will show you the CASAS reading and math score, along with the grade level equivalent for that program. So essentially, the pharmacy technician instructor determined that students should be reading at a 10th grade reading level and performing math at a 9th grade reading level. Initially, when I created these scores for both reading and math, I generally took the lowest score within the range and assigned the reading score and math score that way. So as you can see here, we're going to look at math. I based the math score on the lowest score within the range, which if you take a look is 236. And this is how I was able to determine what math score was going to be needed for this program. The reading score for pharmacy technician was originally 244, which is the lowest reading score on the range for 10th grade. However, throughout the years, the original scores and grade levels were adjusted either by the instructor or even through recommendations by a program administrator. And that is how these scores were established. Here are the baseline scores for all of our CTE programs. And I'll leave it up for a bit just so you can view the scores that we have.
Here I'd like to review some CTE benefits as a result of these wonderful collaborations. Under students, I want to make it clear that we do not turn students away when they do not meet the baseline scores. We have wonderful student counselors that refer students for academic support as needed. So when a student is scoring below the baseline, they can improve their reading and math, and then once they reach the benchline score, they can easily enroll into the CTE program of their choice. Sometimes there are situations where students are very close to the baseline and we have plenty of space in the CTE class, so they can be concurrently enrolled in the academic support as well as the CTE class. Through this collaboration, we have found that many barriers have been removed so that they have increased our program success and our student success rate. Also, we're addressing individual academic needs. So we're meeting with students and we're determining their goals, which can be to obtain and retain employment, but in addition to that, they may be wanting to improve their current employment status, or they may be pursuing higher education, or even pursuing a pathway within our adult ed program, such as enrolling in CNA and then completing the CNA and being eligible for enrollment into our licensed vocational nurse program. We have also found that we're increasing our licensure pass rate for those CTE classes that require licensure. Our academic support is offered at free of cost, as well as our ESL programs, and we offer seamless adult basic ed enrollment.
As mentioned throughout this presentation, academics and CTE initially used two different exams. When our collaboration began, it was challenging to enroll students who did not meet the baseline score for LVN into ABE. This was because students had to return on another day in order to CASAS assess in reading and math, since the math and reading tests that they were using at the time didn't coincide with what we needed to use on the academic side, which would result in an extra 2 hours of testing that these students needed to do. So by having CTE students take the CASAS test, those who need academic support on the CTE side are automatically enrolled in ABE, since they have a valid reading and math score. They can now start either on the same day or when they're available to begin. I also want to note that it is also easy for the instructors to then recommend an ABE class for their students, since once again, they don't have to test again. If they have a valid reading and math score, the counselor just automatically enrolls them into ABE, and then the student can start immediately.
Yes, as you can see, under teachers, that's exactly what's happening. And we can move on to how we're finding that we're increasing collaboration between our CTE and academic teachers, which is promoting student success. And all parties are in constant contact, which include our counselors, our ESL, our academic, and our CTE teachers, so that we are promoting student progress and success. Under the programs, we're seeing increased positive outcomes. We are also, for our COE accreditation, we're increasing our beneficial data that we need to collect, especially our CPL, completion placement licensure rate. So we are definitely increasing our success rate, and we are demonstrating effective student support services, which is a large section of our COE accreditation process.
With that, we'll now transition and go into other ways that we've been now connecting our academic students to the CTE side. As previously mentioned, we initiated an afternoon ABE class at our Willow campus to provide academic support to our CTE students. Students are either encouraged to co-enroll at the time of their initial enrollment or recommended for support by their instructors if they encounter difficulty in passing exams. Our ABE instructor collaborates with the majority of our CTE instructors to understand students' needs and sometimes contextualizes materials according to students' programs to make academic topics more applicable. Additionally, CTE students have the option to take our online ABE if they are unable to attend the afternoon class in person. Just recently, our health careers counselor informed me that she always recommends ABE classes to her LVN students who did not obtain or meet the baseline score needed to enroll in LVN. And she recommends ABE because she's seen that those who utilize our free ABE program have a higher probability of achieving baseline scores compared to those who choose to self-study using online programs or apps and then retest again. As mentioned throughout this presentation, CTE students are able to co-enroll in ABE or an ESL class for chosen CTE programs, what we call IELCE. But our high school equivalency prep and diploma students also have the option of co-enrolling in CTE and ASE as well. It is a little bit more difficult for the students since it does require a lot of work on both ends. However, we have had a handful of students who have utilized this option since they have a goal in mind and they just wanted to quickly, obtain their high school diploma and then right away go into a career. For our regular ESL class, we ask our CTE counselors to present to all our ESL students when EL Civics focuses on post-secondary education. Some instructors, even on their own, proactively reach out to counselors to arrange discussions with their students to provide presentations in order to spark interest in them as well, so they could see what's next after ESL. On scholarships are just another way through which we connect academics to CTE. Our district offers various scholarship programs. We also obtain various community organizations, and they offer programs even sometimes along with the city of La Puente. They have scholarships as well. We utilize CCAE, our chapter, and there's also through school fundraisers where we're able to raise money for student scholarships, which is a way that we offer it to our academic students. So if they're interested, then they can utilize that scholarship to pay for the program. And finally, academic tours of the CTE programs from our academic site, which are not only informative for our students, but also the most fun and, I guess, hands-on. Before the pandemic, all of our academic students were bused to the Willow campus for CTE tour. While it had been dormant for the past few years, I'm pleased to announce that it has returned. Last week, our academic students toured the Willow campus and engaged with our CTE instructors and students. They even had the pleasure of enjoying delicious treats prepared by our culinary arts students. These tours consistently ignite interest and demonstrate to students that they can pursue what they can pursue after achieving their initial academic goals. Here at HLPAE, we do everything we possibly can to ensure that these possibilities are within their reach. And that is it. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.
So we just want to say thank you so much to Maria and Teresa, or Teresa and Rosie, Maria and Rosie, sorry, from Hacienda Puente for their presentation, for taking the time to share these great best practices. They may have shared something that you're doing at your school, or maybe gave you some ideas on how you can help your students transition from program to program, and using CASAS as that constant navigational tool will help you streamline those transitions. So thanks again for sharing that information with us. Let's go ahead, and as we're talking about transitioning, we have our little spring theme going on for our webinar today. April showers bring May flowers. So just as some of you are transitioning from one assessment to another assessment, or maybe helping students transition, we also want to share some tips for how you can start to transition out of this year, and by spring cleaning your data. So today we have Nicole Jordan with us. She's going to share some great tips for using the DIR to spring clean and hopefully bring some great May MSG flowers. So Nicole, take it away.
Thank you, Laura. And so as you mentioned, April showers means it's time to do some spring cleaning, and spring cleaning of your data, that is. So first, what we need to do is we need to assess our current situation. So see what's going on within your agency. And luckily for you, TOPS Pro Enterprise includes the National Reporting System for Adult Education, or NRS, the tables. And NRS has developed this system for collecting student information on adult outcomes, and one of those tables being NRS Table 4 that we have here. And NRS Table 4 will highlight any measurable skill gains, or MSGs, and some of those MSGs include achieving at least one educational functioning level gain, or obtaining a high school diploma, or even a secondary school diploma. Yeah. So some things to keep in mind about NRS Table 4 is that in order for your student to qualify, they'll need the following in your TE Enhanced, and that is enrollment in a WIOA Title II program, a minimum of 12 hours of instruction, and a pre-test. And it's important also to note that NRS determines exiters by periods of participation, or POP. And a POP is a participant's uninterrupted period of attendance, and that period of attendance will end after 90 days without any attendance. TE can track and determine this all for you, so you don't have to worry. So whether you're importing your data from another attendance system or conveniently using our new teacher portal, make sure that your attendance hours are getting into TOPS Pro Enterprise. So with NRS Table 4, we've looked at our situation, and now it's time to do the cleaning, the organizing, taking inventory of our data, our MSGs, and even our outcomes. So let's generate our NRS Data Integrity Report to get us started. And to do that in TE, you'll go to Reports, Data Management, NRS Data Integrity. And here's an example of what your data integrity report can look like. At the very top, there's a summary of qualifying learners by POPs. And underneath, we have 33 plus items to help you do all this cleaning. And each of these items will have a number of students and its percentage that fit each description. You can hover over the number at any time and highlight, and it'll show up in a box in red, and then you can drill down. So for example, I have here, if you need a list of students that have less than 12 hours of instruction, you can right click on that cell, and then you can see this lister, and you can drill down into that lister or any other reports that are shown here. So let's break down the cleaning items on that list. So items 1 through 10, these are just key reporting requirements and possible drop reasons. So 2, less than 12 hours of instruction. Are your attendance hours getting into TOPS Pro Enterprise Good? Another example could be no gender. If you have the gender for some of your students, you can drill down and update that student's record. 9, valid pre-tests with no post-tests. And since it's spring, it might be time to start thinking about post-testing some of those students. Items 11 through 16, these detail some NRS conditions for your MSGs, exit, period of participation. We have 12A, for example, past HSE, and you can ask yourself, is that number correct? Does the DIR match what I'm seeing at my agency? 14B, more than one period of participation. Does our agency have a high number of students that have taken long leaves of absence? And we also have 16 enrolled in IET, which could be considered another MSG. For DIR items 17 through 33, these are other key state and federal priorities. For 17 and 18, focus on goals. Do you have your students' goals in TE? 22C, no pre or post-test pair, but 70 plus hours of instruction. That can indicate that that is time to pre-test. So are there groups of teachers, classes that haven't taken, their post-test yet? And then 29 SSN provided. If your state does some sort of employment wage data match with that information, that could be a number you can look at as well. And now that you've reviewed your items, or if we keep on theme, looked at your cleaning checklist, it's time to rerun your NRS Table 4 and see what changes you were able to make and see if you were able to maximize your student outcomes. And before I leave here, I also want to encourage you to run your NRS Table 4 throughout the year or even yearly. And that way you can compare your data from year to year or even from the beginning of the year to the end. If you ever need assistance in generating this data, whether that's NRS Table 4 or your data integrity report, you can contact tech support at CASAS.org. Back to you, Laura.
Great. Thank you, Nicole. Those are some wonderful, wonderful tips. We hope you guys are going to enjoy your spring cleaning. We're going to continue with our theme of transitioning. So basically, as we close out this year and transition to the next year, there's a few things that you're going to want to get in order. So if April showers bring May flowers, Elizabeth, what do May flowers bring?
The Pilgrims. And just as that, classic joke, much like the Pilgrims, we're in a new frontier of figuring out what tests are going to work best for our students in the next year, already now, or so as we're transitioning to the new test series, you really want to consider your program's launch scenario. So whether you're going with the luxury liner, the inflatable boat, or the other transition process that you chose. So there's really two main options for this. Your program can adjust your current testing sessions under the ABE and ESL testing session template so that it looks the same to your proctors as it always has, but it's administering a different test series at the other end of it. Or if your program is still going to be administering some classes, will take the life and work, some will take the STEP series, you may want to consider adding a new and separate set of sessions. In this scenario, your proctors may need new instructions so they'll know exactly when to use which testing session. And we'll also just need to differentiate that in the title testing session for your program. So option one is just kind of a look about you've adjusted your ABE and ESL testing sessions to now administer math goals too. And for ESL, the STEP series. So it looks very similar to when you were administering life and work or goals. It's practically unrecognizable to your proctors. And so because it's so clear, you may want to consider this option when you're ready for all classes to transition over. So that might be if your program is going with the speedboat approach, or if you're going for a luxury liner, your sessions will look like this in July of 2025. For option two, this is just looking at, there's two separate sets of sessions for ESL that we can see below. So in this example, maybe some classes are going to continue to use life and work next year. Others may be using STEPs. So you can see how it may adjust your testing sessions just a little bit. So you'll just want to make sure that all of your proctors are very clear on what to use when. This is just a review of what the default testing sessions look like for ABE or ASE. And so if your program sessions don't look like this, you can always contact us at golive@casas.org. We can help adjust your testing sessions for the new series. Or if you just need us to kind of work with you a little bit and make sure that your testing sessions are optimized for your program, we're happy to consult you with that as well. This is the testing sessions for ESL. And again, one difference from the Life and Work series is we used to have that beginning literacy assessment. So right now for the STEP series, we do have intake level A only and intake pretest with locator. And finally, this is just as, your spring cleaning reminder about replicating testing sessions for the new program year. The program year runs from July 1st to June 30th. So after your students have completed all testing, all post-testing at the end of the year in May or June, you'll want either your data manager or one of your coordinators for testing to log into TOPS Pro Enterprise. You'll click on the top page of organization. You'll go to testing sessions. You'll highlight all of the testing sessions that you need, and then you click that more button in order to go through the batch replication process. And batch replication is really just a fancy way of copy and pasting your testing sessions from this year into your account for the next program year. You can also do this after July 1st, but if you want to be ready to go for your summer sessions or for the next year, we encourage you to do this at the end of post-testing in this program year. And finally, just a review of best practices. You'll want to use the same set of testing sessions for the whole program year. You'll want to have a standard set of testing sessions for each separate site. You'll want to make sure that each testing session is labeled clearly and correctly, and that you can always remove testing sessions that are no longer serving your program by deleting or expiring old sessions. And we're happy to work with you, whether it's the Go Live team at CASAS or the tech support team. And obviously I caught this really cute baby picture to keep your attention. As many of you know, I'm coming back from my maternity leave in the next few months. Are awesome. Some of them are not working for us. So I think as you're transitioning with your programs, you know, as a new parent, you'll figure out what works best for you. So we offer lots of suggestions. We're here to support you as you move forward with this, but please let us know what we can help you with best. And with that, I turn it off to my colleague.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm pretty sure that cool baby picture put a smile on your face. And I also know that Teacher Portal has been putting smiles on many programs' faces. As a matter of fact, can you give me a virtual or a physical thumbs up if you have already heard about Teacher Portal or are already using Teacher Portal? I like engagement in my audience, so go ahead and give me those thumbs up. Yeah, okay. I cannot see them all, but I'm sure there are many. My name is Carla Galleguillos, and I am a National Program Specialist who is ready to talk to you about Teacher Portal. Now, you might be wondering, why did CASAS create this tool? It's very simple. Here at CASAS, we have 2 points of pride that I would like to highlight. One of them is that we have remained a student-centered throughout the years, and that we continue to listen to our field, the feedback from the field. So what are some of that feedback? Well, some of that feedback, I've summarized it in three sections, 3 elements over here. One of them is that teachers want immediate access to their instructional reports. Students want prompt feedback. And yes, directors out there, you want improved outcomes, right? So we got you. This is why we created the Teacher Portal. And I like to summarize what the Teacher Portal is in one sentence. And that would be the Teacher Portal is this actionable, adaptable, and accessible online tool created for teachers with easy to use multifunctional features. Now remember, this tool is available to all of you out there with that TE enhanced package. So it already comes as part of that. Now, on the next slide, you will see that I want to tell you that what's happening with programs out there. Programs out there who are already using the Teacher Portal are telling us that because the new instructional reports found in the Teacher Portal are aligned to the College and Career Readiness Standards and the English Language Proficiency Standards, this has helped streamline lesson planning. And not only that, but has helped with PD planning at the local and agency-wide level. So whether you are a luxury liner, an inflatable raft, or a speedboat, Teacher Portal is here to support you. Yes, thank you for putting those benefits out there for us, Karen. One of the main benefits I like to highlight today is simply this one, and that is that research tells us that student feedback is one of the top 10 predictors of learning and achievement. And I would add that it's also a predictor of higher student outcomes, or I should, like Nicole and Laura said a minute ago, higher MSGs. So yeah, you're welcome, directors out there. This is a great tool. And last but not least, if I have sparked your interest, please come and join me and the CASAS Tech team during our Teacher Portal for Teachers training happening, yes, on May 2nd. And I know someone who can multitask can put that link on the chat. And you can always visit us during office hours, remember. Go ahead and on the next slide, you can see that we have office hours. And most importantly, come and visit us for our dedicated sessions during the CASA Summer Institute. Thank you for being a great audience. And I hope to see you at Summer Institute. Take care. And now I'm going to hand it over to my good pal, my good friend, who's going to talk to you about eWORKs, and that is Paul Kratzer. Take it away, Paul.
Thank you, Carla. Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paul Kratzer, and I'm here to talk with you about a new program called CASAS eWORKs. CASAS eWORKs is about giving your students the job-seeking edge. Let's think a little bit about needs that various parties have in our communities. The businesses in our communities are looking for workers that have strong soft skills or strong work readiness skills, whether those are workers who are already working there or people who are applying for jobs there. And our students who are looking for jobs, they want to know what their soft skills are and how they can improve their skills when they are weak. And you and I, teachers, we're looking for tools to assess and develop our students' soft skills and to match them with business needs. We're looking for ways to engage with businesses and find out what their needs are. Well, CASAS eWORKs has the answer to all of those needs. Next slide, please. So you may be wondering why are soft skills so important? Well, the Department of Labor reports that according to business leaders, while the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, are still fundamental to every employee's ability to do the job, employers view soft skills as even more important to work readiness. And Deloitte reports that soft skill intensive occupations will account for two-thirds of all jobs by the year 2030. And Forbes reports that hiring employees with more soft skills can increase revenue significantly. So how does eWORKs work? How does eWORKs assess and develop soft skills? Well, we use scenarios of real-life workplace situations. The students watch short videos and they practice decision-making by choosing the best and worst actions to take in each situation. So this is how we can see what their soft skills are, what they are strong in, and what they are weak in. And eWORKs also provides targeted instructional resources that teachers can use to target the students' specific areas of need. Next slide, please. So eWORKs is integrated with other CASAS resources. So if you are using CASAS eTests and you've already given reading and math tests to your students, no other reading and math tests are needed. You can just add on CASAS eWORKs. And eWORKs is integrated into Teacher Portal and Student Portal. So if you're e-testing and you're using Teacher Portal, you're already halfway there. Just add on CASAS eWORKs. Next slide, please. And CASAS eWORKs also includes a survey that you can use to engage with businesses to find out what soft skills they feel are important. It's a short survey, takes about 15 minutes, a great tool you can use to work with your Title I partners and to match job seeker skills, your student skills, with the needs of businesses. Next slide, please. So the CASAS eWORKs pilot is currently underway, and we're looking at a limited launch in the fall. We will have a couple of intro to eWORKs sessions on Zoom coming up on April 23rd and May 8th, and I would love to have all of you come and learn more about it. So if you'd like to know more, send me an email at eworks@casas.org, and I will send you the Zoom link for those meetings. You can also go to the casas.org website and click on eWORKs to learn more. So thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. That's great information. I'm here to provide the training update. My colleague Astrid Robitel is at a conference and unable to be here. So I'm very proud to be able to announce some of the great work she's been doing behind the scenes with the team. Online training. So here's the first thing that we really want to bring out for you is a reminder. Every July 1, we reset the training site. And so this is a reminder to you, if you've got some training going on that you have not completed, make sure you can finish it before July 1 and download any certificates that you've earned. So the training progress will not be available after we reset that. You will still be able to contact us if you need information about previous training, but you will not be able to go into the module itself to download additional certificates. So we also are working on this document to give guidance for people about what training to take. And so we'll be publishing this soon, but we're hoping to make it easy so that you can see by the role that you have in the agency what type of training you should have, and also what is required for new agencies and what does not need to be repeated. So we'll have more info on that coming up. We're also very excited about the just released eTests Proctor Certification. This has been a labor of love, and it's really wonderful, interactive, ready to use even now. This is a simulation, and so you're not going to hear any sound here, but during the simulation, the person taking the training gets the opportunity to see what it looks like to log in and to select a testing session, and then to filter for those sessions. And also, in addition to that, there's a little quiz at the end where they actually get to simulate the process of starting a testing session. We heard what you said, and that you wanted your proctors to be better equipped when they took their proctor training, and this has really done that for us. Some FAQs. Someone says they're already certified. Am I required to take the training now? No, your current proctor is still valid. We recommend you recertified every 2 years. If you're already certified, you're welcome to take the training. I think you'll enjoy the refresher and the new format. And it takes about 40 minutes to complete. So if you're ready for that, get your popcorn out and enjoy the show. We also have some new updates to our training site. At the top of the site, there's a place where you can get training tips and frequently asked questions about navigating the site, like how do you know where you are in the course, or why can't I find my certificate, or how do I navigate the site? So there's a lot of really great ideas in there about how to navigate, and with pictures, so what it'll look like on your screen. And now, without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Christine Maines so she can talk about the upcoming Summer Institute.
Thank you, Karen. We are so excited about this summer's institute coming up in June of 2024. It will be here before we know it. This is a very special Summer Institute from June 17th to June 20th, because we are launching our 3 new test series. There will be hundreds of sessions focused on AI, ChatGPT, instructional implementation, and more. On the next slide, I'd like to share with you some wonderful opportunities as you see to join us in Orange County, California, at the Hyatt Regency for our conference. There are some great reasons for you to attend our Summer Institute. Professional development offered at our Summer Institute is unparalleled. We hear from you all of the time. It was a great place to gather with colleagues and share best practices or promising practices and what other states are doing. It's a great way to invest in yourself and updating your knowledge about all things CASAS and so much more. We'd love for you to come join the fun in California, so please consider coming and joining your colleagues. One of the very great aspects of Summer Institute is that hands-on practice in our technology labs. This is the only place at Summer Institute where you, as a data manager or proctors or coordinators or teachers, can get those hands-on opportunities with our skilled CASAS trainers who are there to support you in building your skills and abilities around the technology. Bonus, the discounted tickets for Disney are available. So we are excited. We hope you come join us. We'll all be there with bells and whistles. I'd like to turn it over to Karen. Thanks.
Thank you, Christine. looks like we've arrived to the end of the hour. We have some reminders here that will be available to you about level A reading steps and how people are using it with their lower level students. So there's great tips there. We hope you can come for the Tops Pro Enterprise training next week. And also don't forget to join us for office hours with all your questions. So thank you so much. And we're just so glad that you were able to join us today, and hope to see you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Karen. And we'll leave you with a little Bing Crosby, April Showers, Bring Me Flowers music. Thanks, everyone.